Hey everybody, and welcome to Leia's Lair. Here's our review of The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 1, The Apostate. We hope you enjoy. Alright, so this episode opens up quite interestingly. We've got what looks like to be a new Mandalorian child taking the creed. He's getting his new helmet, the armor is making it. It's a pretty, beautiful scene, and then, well, of course, all of a sudden, things don't go as to plan, and a giant, crocodile emerges from the lake behind them and just wreaks havoc on this little party.
Yeah.
And well, things look pretty bad for the Mandalorians, but of course, who comes to their rescue?
Mando.
And
Grogu.
And Grogu in their brand new Naboo starship. So
yeah, obviously he saves it. Guts go flying everywhere.
Oh, yeah, that's gross.
But that's not enough to repent for his sins.
Absolutely not. So, again, I feel the armor is being pretty strict with her rules. Well, the rules, I guess, of everybody.
Yeah, but it's nice. Like, this episode is starting, it's the plot. It's what's going to happen. It's forming that plot. And that's we need that, right? So this episode is doing a great job of that already, showing, okay, let's get back to that plot. He needs to go to Mandalore.
Yeah, what I kind of feel like they did here was those people who didn't watch the Book of Boba Fett, they need to make sure that you knew what the Mandalorian was doing, so they kind of reiterated that he needs to go to Mandalore again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he had to have a quick pop in and say, hey, look, I got this piece. We can probably still go there. It's probably still good.
Exactly.
But he doesn't just go straight to Mandalore, right? He needs some stuff along the way. So goes for a quick stop at, Navarro, the place where we've seen every season. Yeah. And it's wild to see how it's just flourishing now, right? From that first season to now it has trees and there's High Magistrate Yuri Karga.
There's happy children running around. It just seems like it's a really lively place to be.
Yeah, and of course, Grief makes it seem like it's a little bit better than it is. Obviously, then there's pirates that are showing up, and that whole scene in itself was sweet, right? Yeah. They have that standoff and shoots the gun out of his hand, and then him and Mando make quick work of all his henchmen.
Totally.
So, I really like that scene. I really like the whole Navarro experience. It does, and I was wondering what they were going to do about it, but they do address Cara Dune's disappearance.
They do, which I thought was kind of good, because you don't really want to, sweep it under the rug. You want to get ahead of it and make it known, so...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they kind of address it. They're like, she went off and is doing her, commando thing, I guess.
Yeah, she, after bringing in Moff Gideon, she was... a highly recruited individual, so she's off doing things in the galaxy. Yeah,
and so obviously he wants Mando to be, his marshal.
Of course he does. Mando's a quick fire.
Yeah, but what I did like is that we got to see IG-11 as a statue. And I'm like, oh, that's sweet. They they have him up on this thing, he's celebrated. But it's not just to show that. It's also that he's part of the plot. They're trying to get him back, in working order, because he wants him to go help him explore Mandalore, which I think is sweet. I love IG-11.
Well, especially because they think Mandalore's poison, right? So he doesn't want to send himself or Baby Yoda or Grogu down, right? He needs to make sure that Mandalore is safe. IG-11 is the only droid he trusts. You remember all from Season 1, his weird fear of droids, which is not really weird. It's totally
it's totally normal.
Totally normal, but...
Wouldn't you be afraid of that droid if it tries to, kill you?
Yeah, so he tries to get...
Grogu. Obviously, IG-11's not who he used to be. They need some parts to fix him. Yeah. They take him to the Anzellans. Not Babu Frick.
Looks like Babu Frick, but not Babu Frick.
Yeah, but still just as funny. I like that whole experience, the whole bad baby.
Oh yeah, that was cute. He's just it's so funny because I feel Grogu's so tiny, and then you see them and they're
even tinier.
Tinier than tiny.
Right. And it's like, it's funny because it's like, I guess we don't know how old like those Anzellans were, but they're like, bad baby. And Baby Yoda's like 50 plus years old.
Right. But I guess in terms of Yoda species, he's pretty young.
Right. So, yeah, I like that whole thing, that whole experience. That was funny.
Yeah. But moral of the story is IG-11 isn't what he used to be. He needs a new memory chip.
Yeah.
So
off Mando goes to try to go find a memory chip, but and I like this. It's like this episode had almost everything, right?
Totally.
I'm like, okay, little gun standoff, but then they also have space battle. Like they have the pirates going after Mando and in the next to that asteroid field, which gave me like kind of episode 5. I mean like Star Wars episode 5. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Empire Strikes Back vibes, because it was like he's going through and like then he's outnumbered, but then he starts to like pick them off one by one. Like he starts becoming the predator in this scenario, right? And they're all kind of scared.
Yeah.
But then of course he's led to that big ship with
Gorian Shard.
Yeah, with Gorian Shard, and he's scary looking.
Yeah, he looks like did you ever watch Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah.
When they had like the seaweed face?
Oh, yeah.
That's what it reminded me of.
Well, right? They're like pirates. They have this like scary looking guy. Like,
yeah.
It seems like they pulled some of that in, you know, Pirates of the Caribbean 2 vibes right there.
I definitely think too, like, that's not the last we're going to see of him either. Well, he's going to come back and wreak havoc on Mando in some way, shape, or form later in the season for sure.
Oh, 100%. 100%. They didn't just introduce him in his ugly face for nothing.
Then Mando heads off to find Bo-Katan Kryze.
Yeah.
She's sitting all alone in her Mandalorian castle. Not another soul in sight. Maybe a droid. Right. And she is not happy.
No,
she is not happy at all. Her movement fell apart completely because nobody wants to follow her, because guess what? She doesn't have the Darksaber. So you can tell she's a little bit bitter about that towards Mando.
Yeah. I also think it's kind of funny how the Mandalorians work, right? Like there's these different factions and they're like, oh, you guys don't remove your helmets. That's weird. You know, that's so weird you follow these things. Oh, it's all superstition. And they're like, oh, you don't have the Darksaber? Peace. Like, right. You know, it's like they're all very fickle, and it's just funny how they all have different rules. But obviously we're going to see how that comes together in this season, I feel, right? We're going to see how that all works.
It's so funny, too, because I feel like she, like, talks down to Mando and his, like, beliefs, you know what I mean? And then she's just, like, blindly following the Darksaber.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this one little sword is going to save you. Yeah, it's interesting how they have that, and she's cold to Mando, but I'm interested to see how that's gonna play out, right?
Man, I agree, and I'm so looking forward to them going to Mandalore.
Yeah,
like, what happened? What does Mandalore look like now? The Great Purge destroyed the planet.
Yeah,
can't wait to see.
Yeah, so speaking of looking forward to, what are you looking forward to in this season?
Definitely seeing Mandalore.
Yeah, like
no doubts about that.
Mandalore. Yeah,
obviously, I'm very much looking forward to seeing the drama with the Darksaber. I feel like the Darksaber has so much lore and so much backstory that hasn't really been addressed. Yeah. I mean, it's been addressed in like other shows, but not really in like live action. So I'll be happy to see the Darksaber come out a few more times.
Yeah.
And of course, you guys know, I love Grogu, so I love all his little antics. I want to see how him and Mando's relationship develops, how he is post-training with Luke Skywalker. He's so cute. I just can't wait. He's even wearing the little Beskar armor. Like, it's so cute. So that's what I'm looking forward to. What about you?
Yeah, no, I like how Liz's Beskar looks. Reminds me of, like, the Mithril.
Totally.
Like, but, all for the same things. Looking forward to Mandalore. The Darksaber, obviously just seeing it is always sweet. And little Grogu is so cute. Who doesn't love him? If you don't love him, get out of here. We don't want you. We don't want you in our channel. But yeah, also on IG-11. I loved IG-11, so I can't wait for the nurse to come back.
Yeah, hopefully he'll be a nurse droid.
Yeah, nurse droid, come back to us.
Alrighty, so in terms of a rating, I'm gonna give this episode an 8 out of 10. I'm so happy to have the show back. It seems like it's been forever since we've seen any sort of like Mandalorian related content, but under the actual title of The Mandalorian, we're going over 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the episode was really interesting. There's lots of moving parts kind of happening, really setting the scenes for future episodes. It was nice to see some of our old characters again, like Bo-Katan and Greef Karga. Obviously, Grogu, cute as ever. And I'm really, really looking forward to seeing how some of these things play out. So yeah, 8 out of 10.
Nice. I'm also going to give it a nice 8 out of 10 as well because, yeah, it's just a good start to the series. We got to see all the main characters pretty much of the series. So obviously Mando, Grogu, Armor, Greef Karga, Bo-Katan, and even IG-11.
Right, surprise.
Which I did not expect that, he's coming back, which is sweet. We got action, we got plot formation, and it was all done at a good pace. I wasn't like, okay, let's get to this. I was like interested in what everything was going on. So yeah,
totally.
8 out of 10.
And there you have it. Thanks for watching, everyone. What did you think of this episode of The Mandalorian? Let us know down below in the comment section. And remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more great videos to come. We hope to see you all again in Leia's Lair.
You are not a Jedi yet.